Hello everyone, we're back and we're gonna start trying something new on this channel. It's gonna be a lot about the cameras and especially about the thing where my expertise and my knowledge is the biggest, which is cameras and photography. Well, not only photography, also filmmaking, so making images, moving images and still images, both ways. I want to start interacting more with you, so I'm gonna take one of your questions that you're asking me, and I'm gonna start making videos related to that question. However, I don't really have that many followers yet that are interacting with me, so I borrowed a question from a YouTube channel called Conspiracies. Definitely check that out. It's interesting to listen to that. What I like about that channel is that he's touch on it. He's way into it. It's a little bit different from many others. Many camera YouTubers tend to follow the same line, very techy and stuff like that. He has a different point of view. And then we come to my point of view. What is my point of view? Well, first of all, I have cameras and image making for an interest for 23 years. Well, at least I picked up my first own camera 23 years ago. But I used the family cameras a lot more even since I was just a little kid. I've been making my living out of making images, still images and films and all kind of stuff for 16 years. During those 16 years, I've been working with photography, retouch, some VFX, color grading and filmmaking. So I had quite those wide roles, and I worked to clients that had a wide need of images. It's not always been this specifically niche kind of work, though the category of work had always been commercial. I've been working a lot for different companies that want material to use for their marketing. I haven't done much for private persons like weddings and stuff like that. So that's my point of view. So, first question that I stole here is about a guy who's been stuck between these two cameras for the last 2 months. Get an A7 IV with a 28 to 70 millimeter lens for $2,800, or get the A7C body alone for $1,600, which would leave him for $1,200 to buy lenses. Well, this is, for me, it's easy. This guy has a budget and he wanted to know if he should be buying a cheaper camera with more expensive lenses or a more expensive camera with some cheaper lenses. Well, in this case, it's also mainly for video. That's an important aspect. Since it's mainly for video, I would say buy the more expensive camera, the A7 IV in this case, because it has much better video quality. It's a camera you could use for video for a longer time. It has 10-bit colors, better slow motion, better autofocus. It's overall a much better video camera, no doubt about it. So get that camera with the kit lens. Kit lenses today are not that bad. And see this kit where you have the camera, the A7 IV with the kit lens. See this as your versatile video shooter kit. And you could also put a mist filter on that kit lens. That will soften it up. It will add a little bit of character and some filmic look. Matter of fact, I have a mist filter on this camera now, and it is a Sony a7S III. So it's not far away from that specific camera. There's also a zoom lens. It's a G Master though, so it's pretty good. But let's just see what happens when I remove the mist filter, and especially look at the highlight here. This is on and off, on and off, on and off. You could probably see some changes in my skin tones because I'm a little bit sweaty, oily or something, and there's some light reflecting there. So this softens that up, and it also adds some glow on the sun that comes in here. The mist filter I'm using is not one of those expensive Pro Mist or something like that. It's an K&F Concepts, works pretty good. It's the 1.4, it's the softest one. Start at that and then you can try the other when you can afford it. But there's one more thing I want to add into this one. Video. You don't always need autofocus for video. Autofocus is an amazing feature because you could do like stuff like this. You could move forward and it makes your shooting a lot easier. And another thing is that you could use a more shallow depth of field and still have your shots in focus. Of course you could do that with manual lenses, but it's by no doubt easier with a reliable autofocus, which the Sony has. So what that means is that you could make your films look more high-end what they might actually be because you have a shallow depth of field. Besides that kit lens, I will also say pick up a cheap vintage lens, a manual vintage lens with an adapter. In this case, I have a K&F concept adapter here. It's a Canon FD to Sony E, and I put a 50mm 1.8 of an aperture lens on this one. This whole thing cost about like $50 or something like that. So you get a nice autofocus, a nice manual focus lens for $50. Is this good then? Is vintage lenses good? Yeah, they are. Matter of fact, a lot of vintage lenses are regularly used within high-end cinema productions. There's words, rumors, call it what you want, but they say that a vintage Helios 44 lens was used in the latest Batman movie. However, they don't really look like this. They are like, they take out all the glass and they rehouse everything, but the glass is the same even if the body is different. So by no doubt these kind of lenses are good. Canon especially even have a cinema lineup of lenses that are based on, that's kind of shares DNA with this kind of lenses. It's called the K35 series. They are expensive, really expensive, but you kind of have somewhat a similar character out of this lens for almost no money at all. So then you're gonna end up having this really nice kit with a nice camera that have proper video features, a zoom lens that are decently good but have an autofocus that is gonna be reliable, and you could use vintage lenses and shoot with those. And later down the road, when you kind of know like, okay, I like this focal length, I like this kind of lenses, I like this kind of look. Now I want, and I have the money to invest for like maybe a 50mm lens with autofocus or whatever lens you want to invest in. However, if your situation is slightly different, that you are limited on your budget and you're like maybe thinking saving up for a more expensive camera or get a cheaper camera, well, that depends on so many things, of course. How long would you have to like be without a camera compared to just having one immediately? I always say get the best camera that you can afford, or just get any camera and use it and learn how to use it and learn how to make the best of it. Because when it comes to making films and making images, when it comes down to the fundamental, it's not about the camera, it's about how you are using the camera. A good content creator could create amazing content with any camera. However, an amazing content creator could probably also creating better content with the right tool for that creative process. So, but in this case, it was quite straightforward. Get the A7 IV or get the A7 III basically. Get the A7 IV because you have the budget. That's easy. Thanks for watching, and if you want to see more kind of content like this, I would really appreciate if you leave comments with questions down below, and I'm gonna make videos about when I'm answering them. If you want to see those videos, considering subscribing on my channel, also considering to click that bell icon, like my videos, and generally just interact with me. Thanks for watching.